Thank you, Mr. Deputy Speaker. By way of background, I've been asking this question for over a year, and the situation has since deteriorated even more. This question is directed to the good Minister for State Enterprise. As I speak, East Sepik has been without power for almost 18 days. And when I first asked the question, we were having problems with power about 12 months ago, and it's since gotten worse. My question is as follows. Number one, WEWEC needs a short-term solution. As the good minister knows, we have been in constant communication with KCHL. We have been in constant communication with PNG Power. East Sepik Provincial Government has offered every help that we can. But in order for us to move forward, we actually need direction from PPL and from KCHL because they own the power supply. We are simply clients, but the East Sepik Provincial Government has been doing everything it can. So we need a short-term solution fairly quickly because as I speak, the 6 gensets that we have all suffered catastrophic failures. The new generator that the East Sepik Provincial Government helped to fund is still not operational. Our banks have closed. Our business houses have closed down. We have no power, no water. Duma is unable to supply fuel to the town because they also rely on PNG Power in order to operate. So the town has come to a shuddering halt, and we need serious help. My final question is this. Well, first of all, what solutions can PNG Power offer us and KCHL as the shareholder? And the final question, it is my understanding, Mr. Deputy Speaker, that in the November budget, this Parliament approved a $300 million policy-based loan to the state-owned enterprises, and part of that borrowing is to upgrade power in the country. Now, I'm not sure if that $300 million has arrived in the country, and if it has not, could the good minister give this House and of course my people of East Sepik and the people of Papua New Guinea an update as to when this borrowing is likely to arrive and when can it be deployed to help alleviate the serious power problems that not only my province faces but many other provinces around the country. Thank you, Mr. Deputy Speaker.
Honourable Minister for State Enterprise.
Thank you, Acting Speaker. I want to thank the good Governor of East Sepik for asking this very important question again. I'll answer the last questions first. In relation to the $250 million ADB SOE reform loan, this was the tranche 3, and it arrived in our country in December last year after this Parliament had passed the 2023 budget. And my understanding is that the money is still kept and it has not been allocated yet. We have to go through the normal budgetary process before the funds are released, not only to KCH but to fund other development agendas of this government. In the case of PNG Power, yes, thanks to the government of Prime Minister Marabe, an amount of 200 million kina was allocated in this year. The final installment of 28 million kina has been released. KCH now has a full complement of 200 million kina that was allocated in the budget, and this has never been done before by any of those governments. And as we all know, this kind of money has their own process to follow. Their public funds. We have to follow a normal tender system and money allocation processes before the funds are fully allocated. For PNG Power, advance monies have been released while waiting for a further amount to be released from the SOE ADB funds. And the equipment that are needed have been paid for, especially for for UEC, as our good governor knows. In the case of 2 gensets, there have been some technical issues. Those issues are quite complex, such that we've had to arrange for experts from Korea, from which these machines were imported, to fly over to PNG to fix them. And the expert is now in the country. He will be flown to UEC tomorrow, and hopefully he will fix the issues that are being encountered by these 2 machines. We now have a full set of machines that are needed to power UEC. Thanks to the East Sepik provincial government, they have not only sat back and complained only, they have been proactive in helping us manage these issues. I can say that most of it is to do with technical as well as competency, and it is not that easy to sack people on the spot. There are procedures that are being followed. It's sacking a person and, of course, replacing him with another equally qualified person is another thing altogether. So we are working very hard to fix those issues. It is not to say that UEC has been without power for 18 days. It's less than that. I can confirm that because I was in UEC myself a couple of days recently. But we are working very hard to fix the issues, and we are sending a team tomorrow. And I must admit before Parliament that on many occasions our own employees let us down by misleading us. It is only when we intervene, such as myself or even the Prime Minister, that our own people, we are becoming our worst enemies, start to get their act together. So UEC is a very important province, city, and it happens to be in a province which I call a sleeping giant in terms of potential for economic development. We have been working very closely with the good governor to locate an ideal location so that we can then help install a DFED solar power project. Funding has been identified and allocated. The money is there. We are working among ourselves with the Department of Agriculture and the Department of Lands and the East Sepik provincial government led by our governor to locate an ideal land where we can then install the solar system. So we will have a combination of electricity from genets as well as solar, and further down into the future we're also looking at putting up an hydro-powered project from 2 possible locations, one in Pasam and another one further down from UEC. So we are working very hard, and I can assure the governor that there are certain things I can do as minister, there are certain things I can't do, but he knows very well that I'm giving it my utmost attention, and we will work together to solve the issues. Thank you, Mr. Acting Speaker.